My wife cried because she was cruel to me. Still haven't been able to stop thinking about it. Witness our heartfelt fight to heal, rebuild trust, and find hope in the darkness. Hello. I've never posted here. I'm sorry. I really don't know exactly how to start to tell this story, especially because I know it makes me look like a total prick. My wife and I have been together for around 4 years, married after 6 months dating, and it's been mostly a dream since then, except for this one thing. She just likes to laugh and goof around, and a lot of her joking around tends to hit in the opposite effect than intended. I'm normally not gonna get upset about that kind of thing. It's not an everyday thing, but maybe weekly? Okay, ton of context out of the way now. Last night my wife and I both had a hard day at work. I think we didn't get to talk about it, because the minute we got home there was more work. You know how it is, dogs made a hell of a mess. Yeen. So we were pretty stressed and out of it, and all I wanted to do was watch the movie she picked out and go to bed, but then she decided it would be funny to drop a couple jokes about my appearance, specifically about one aspect of that appearance I have problems with. That day, I was just so tired and upset already, and I just looked at her and said ow. And she laughed again, but I didn't drop it, and I insisted on an answer to why she would say that about me. She asked what I meant, and I asked what response she expected when she made fun of me for my appearance, particularly part of it that she knew I felt bad about. I almost did the children's empathy talk where you go and how would you feel if someone did that to you. But I knew that would be condescending and wrong, so I didn't. Anyway, I wouldn't have gotten much out, because this is when the crying started. I didn't get to see it stop for long all night. Just big, heaving sobs, and shaking, telling me that she thinks she is going to have a panic attack all night long, because I scared her by being so serious. I am not an angry person. I've never been violent. I never moved from the seat when I brought up the mocking thing. She had no reason to think that, and I could think of only one reason for her to cry like that, and this is where I'm gonna sound like a prick, and why I'm doing this anonymously. She saw that I was calling her out for making fun of me for no reason and wanted to change the vibe and feeling in the room as quickly as possible, to instead focus on her having an episode. This isn't the first time this has happened, but it's the first time I've noticed a pattern. Step 1. She upsets someone. Step 2. She will have a panic attack if you don't comfort her right now, actually. Step 3. I shove aside any and all feelings I have on the matter, no matter what it is about, apparently including mocking me. But if I didn't, she would have a genuine medical episode and we could wind up in the hospital. If the person offended is not me, they may also be brought in for emotional support, but I will be. Do I really think that's what it is? I want to say no, say bad, but a part of me does. Don't get me wrong, 99.999% of me isn't a prick, but that very small part, it's something I cannot stop thinking about, and I don't know if I want to bury myself alive or go to marriage counseling, because one of us have a problem. Because if she is doing that, what? But because she isn't, instead I have the problem, and currently feel like I am going through some kind of psycho werewolf transformation type thing. Totally normal and cool with my wife right up until the full moon is out, and then I turn into a rabid animal and accuse her of faking her mental health diagnosis, apparently. Like the monster you are. XD. Reminds me of a girl I used to call a friend. They could always dish it out. No breaks. The moment they're called out on it, they're a victim. If you feel this works for you, that's your business. But I don't talk to that girl anymore. There is nothing worse than to find out how alone you are, you in a room with another person you thought you could speak to and be understood by, and psyching yourself out of judging, quite fairly and justifiably, someone who refuses to acknowledge the most basic feelings you have is a bad move for yourself. She hurt you. You tried to address it. She didn't want to stick around for anything further, so she checked out. That's the facts. Crying works on empathetic people because it signals that things have gone too far, that some harm has taken place, and that you should stop whatever you're doing. But what you're doing is defending yourself in a civilized way. You're the hurt one, and the only one that should have stopped and needs to stop is her. That's nothing you should be second guessing. Quick_scheme 3120. I knew a girl like this too. She called my friend a fucking bitch, and when I tried to get the true story from her, she made herself the victim and was cruel to me to win the argument. We caught her stealing people's things on multiple occasions. Someone put a note up about their food not being communal, and she sent them huge paragraphs about uncalled for passive aggression and her low blood sugar. Marriage is far more complicated than a housemate. I don't talk to that girl anymore, but I believe everyone has the capacity to change. Op's wife is 100% trying to manipulate the situation to make herself the victim after realizing she was a complete dick to her husband. That would be a deal breaker for me. If OP wants to fix things, he has to address this toxic and manipulative behavior from his wife, demand she go to therapy, and lay out major boundaries. The cruel comments are something that can be stopped immediately. If she does make one, but is aware that it's cruel after and apologizes without a fucking panic attack, then she has shown she is willing to change. Therapy takes a while, so of course understandings must be made there. But the cruel comments? Lay that boundary down now. OP. It's not like she can't change and stop that today, if she wants. Tasty_donut_ 9226. I went straight to she's trying to manipulate the situation. Absolutely manipulative, I think, aside from being cruel. And this here. Because this is when the crying started, I didn't get to see it stop for long all night. Just big, heaving sobs, and shaking, telling me that she thinks she is going to have a panic attack all night long, because I scared her by being so serious. ELP is going to end up getting accused of abuse himself if he is not careful. Please believe it, your wife behaving that way should be unacceptable to you. That is not the behavior of a loving partner. Of someone who respects you. She is being a bully, aside from dramatic, but then turning it around to make you feel like the villain of the piece. It is a load of BS. Do not fall for it. Yo-yo_ma86. This 100% this is emotional manipulation and abuse. Absolutely absurd. I couldn't handle this. Judgment, NTA. Update, 8 months later. So I didn't think I would update, because after we talked about my thoughts on the issue, it was an even bigger panic attack and sobbing and asking if I thought she was evil and all this other stuff that made me feel like a devil incarnate forever, even beginning to doubt her. We went back to the usual and I had to deal with more of it. I didn't mention in the last one, but this issue she had didn't just apply to me. It was for everyone and everything that could upset her, and no matter what therapy or meds she was prescribed, it did nothing at all. It wore me down so bad I was sleeping badly and just about lost my job because I couldn't focus, because what if she had a panic attack at work? What if I wasn't there and she needed me? We had been genuinely talking about her quitting her job, at least until we found something that worked to combat the stress and anxiety she seemed to be feeling all the damn time. All of which made me feel all the more pathetic after I found out she was cheating on me. The guy worked with her, and reached out to tell me because he didn't know she was married. I knew I couldn't confront her in person because her reaction would likely make me think the guy made it all up, somehow, despite having texts he showed me from and to her number, and photos I'd rather not discuss. I just moved out and took my dog. Calm down, she never even liked him that much, hasn't asked about him once. Anyway, I texted her that I knew and was going to talk to a lawyer and asked that she did the same. A lot of crying voicemails and saying she didn't know what I was talking about, followed by trickle-truthing in text messages while I was on my friend's couch. We're still in the middle of everything, but it's pretty cut and dry, hardly any marital assets worth speaking of, and the lease is in her name. I honestly am surprised by how little heartbreak I actually felt, coupled with a weird sense of relief. I definitely thought getting cheated on would be the worst thing anyone could do to their partner, but if it wasn't a dick move I would thank her. Anyway, thank you all so much for the advice, even if I was too stupid or weak of spine to take it at the time. It was helpful for just a little bit to not feel crazy. Comments. No Mechanic 3048. That's because she killed any love you had for her by constantly belittling you and then guilting you. Grunt Bugly. Not loving someone anymore sure does make it easier to leave them. View Acanthicida 8311. Yep, once the love fades, the clarity hits hard, and walking away starts to feel like freedom. Odd_welcome 7940. A lot of times cheaters are either the most secure or insecure people in general when they are having an affair. Sounds like some of her anxiety may have been made way worse by the fact she knows just how low her morals are. So she assumes the world is the same. I am thrilled to hear you're walking away. Even if she wasn't cheating, people who slowly weaponize tears are absolutely as terrible to be with as some who are mildly abusive. They slowly make you sit on edge 24/7. Make you always feel like you have to be perfect. It can be torture. I'm not glad you got cheated on, but it's at least silver lining that it's a great excuse to just walk away. Concola. Wow, I'm sorry you have to deal with this. Did her coworker tell you when the affair started? And does that coincide with when her panic attack started? Oop, not when it started, but when they started getting worse. Like it went from an occasional thing to every day I had to be on guard for what I or other people could say to her, because she was going through such a hard time. I am not the UP. Please do not harass the UP. Please remember the no brigading rule and to be civil in the comments.